Hi everyone, Ashley here from Small Biz Toolbox. One of the first things I do with a new client, and I do regularly with my own businesses and brands and websites, is check to see exactly what AI's understanding of my brand is. And I use Chat GPT for that at the moment. Once Google AI mode rolls out, I would use that. Or I can use Perplexity, or all of them actually, to check each one. But to give you an example here, let's use Chat GPT, as it's very popular um, and has a good understanding of the internet. So we go to Chat GPT. The latest version of that is 5, so it's very powerful. We go into our prompt box there, and I've prepared a prompt in advance, which you'll see in the lesson there. Please undertake deep research on the business Small Biz Toolbox in Australia. Its website is that. Please report all you find on this brand, report in Australian English, and I'm going to select deep research. Now, there are a number of modes here, and we'll talk about those throughout the course, which ones we use. But at the moment, we want to use deep research. So let's click that. So we're all ready to go, and we pull the trigger. Now, before it goes off and does this deep research, it asks you some questions usually. So what I tend to do is I copy their questions. I copy all that, I paste it back in here, and then in between, I put the answers. So it's asking me to make sure I conduct a thorough investigation. Could you please clarify what specific aspects of Small Biz Toolbox you're most interested in? For example, that, business model and services offered, company history and founders, reviews and reputation, financial or business performance, marketing strategy or online presence, competitors and industry landscape. Yeah, we want all of those. Now, Shift Enter takes you down. If you just press Enter, it submits the whole box back in as a reply. So I'm going to respond. Just please check all of those. Now, in your case, it may ask you specific questions that you need to answer there. It may seek clarification on a number of points, and then so you would type your answers in after each of those prompts or questions and submit your answers back so that it has the full picture. But after that, we pretty much pull the trigger and away it goes. It starts research. I don't know if you've used this before yourself. It's very powerful. It'll go off and look at a whole lot of websites. It will report the websites it's looking at, the sources down here in a second. And it tells you what it's doing as well. That can take a few minutes though, so what I'll do is I'll pause the video here and wait for it to just progress a little further, then I can show you exactly what it's doing. Okay, so ChatGPT here has progressed a little bit. It's found some sources. Now, there aren't a huge amount because it's a brand new website, so we wouldn't expect to see too many sources. I've done a few press releases, and I've written some articles in various publications and websites, so they may appear. And you know, as your website gets older, you'll have links from other websites you'll be talked about elsewhere, and these are the sources that ChatGPT will go and check or find and read and understand exactly what your brand or your business or your product or your service is all about. And after it's completed this research, it will present a report. Now, this is interesting because, of course, you could do this to your competitors. You can just do that same prompt there, undertake deep research, and put your competitors in there, and that will reveal a whole pile of intel about your competitors that you can use in any way you see fit. It'll tell you where their links are, where they have been featured on other websites, what the sentiment about them is, and a lot of other stuff. So that's very interesting. But obviously, we're just talking about our own businesses here. So it's found 12 sources. It's starting to list them here. So it's found my social media, this press release I did, my own personal website, some other website. It shows the activity here. It shows exactly what it's doing, actually. It's read this website. It's read Facebook. I'm checking the details. It knows I'm the owner, so it's checking my background. It's got my location, tracking the Facebook presence website. Looking at my background, see, all sorts of things. So this is all very interesting. It's a great, powerful tool. Just as an aside, I use this quite a bit for other things, even personal matters. If I'm going to do pay for something off a company, and I want to just check out that they're trustworthy and reliable, then I could do a deep research on them in this, or some business, and I want to make sure I'm dealing with someone reputable. For instance, doing some building or buying a car or something like that. You can check that out, and this tool is capable of finding all sorts of things and giving you a detailed report. So Interesting. That's a bit of an aside, but very useful. So I'll let this just keep going, and I'll come back in a sec when it's finished and has the report ready. Okay, so we're back. Chat GPT here has finished its deep research into my brand, Small Biz Toolbox, and it's produced this report here. So over on the right here, you can see all of the activity and the sources that it's used to find this information. And here we've got the report that summarizes what it found. And embedded in this report is where it found it. Okay, so what we want to do now is, what I'm actually going to do is copy it out and put it into a Word document. So I encourage you to do that. So copy it out, stick it in a Word document and read it carefully and try and understand where, what it understands about your business. Now, we're not going to do too much at the moment with this information, but what you can do is make note of any issues that you see for remedy later. So what you could do throughout this course actually is keep a small log, just in Excel or anything you like, just to keep track of what we're doing. Okay, so you'd set up an Excel sheet to record this information. So you'd have the date, perhaps some observation that you made. So you ran Chat GPT brand deep research, and it found out that it had the price of one of your products wrong. So you'd make a note of that, and the action would be to go to that website and remedy that problem. So if we come back to here, you can see that within the text, it embeds the source that it got the information from. So if you read something here and it has a price which is wrong, you can go to that source, which is the website itself, in that case, Small Biz Toolbox, and try and remedy that information on that source, if you can. If it's a website you don't own, you'd approach the owners or the managers and try and get that updated and fixed. So what we're doing at the moment, though, is we're just getting an understanding of how AI would understand our business or our brand. Use ChatGPT 5. You can go to perplexity.ai and use that as well. You can use Google Gemini. There's another one if you have access to that, or Claude is another AI. So you could really check all of those and see what all of the AIs understand about your business. The important one, of course, will be AI mode from Google. Once that's live, that works very much like ChatGPT does, where you converse with it like this. So that'll be coming soon to Australia. If you're overseas, you've probably got access to that already. So you'd get that AI to check to report on your brand as well. So copy it over into a Word document, go through it with a fine-tooth comb, highlight bits that you feel are not accurate or wrong, find out where they are, note these things down in your log for analysis later, and just get an overall understanding of what the AI understands about your business, its reputation, its reviews, founders. It has it all here, look, financials, free trials and things like that. What my marketing strategy is for it, content marketing, blogging, social media and video. It's recognized that. I've got a Facebook page. Yes, I have a newsletter. I've got an affiliate program on the website. So look, it's found everything really. Brand positioning, built for Aussie small businesses. Correct. Australian owned. It's found that on the website. It's looked at my competitors, or what it deems to be or decides to be my competitors, which may or may not be actual competitors, but nevertheless, interesting reading. And then it lists the sources there. So copy that out. I'm going to copy that out, put it in a Word document, go through it carefully, and make sure I'm happy with what it understands. Anyway, that's that for that lesson. See you in the next one. Cheers. Bye.